Welcome to this introduction on sonicpi. Sonicpi is obviously a tool for writing code that makes music, and it's customizable. You can make it suit yourself. So in this screencast we're going to have a look at the different areas of the user interface, and we're going to be showing you how you can sort of change it to suit yourself. So when you run sonicpi, it tends to come up with this kind of area over here which is called the code area. Code editor, sorry, and that's where we write our code, and we write our code by typing in commands like the one shown there, play 56, and if you press run you hear the sound. If you ever have a piece of code you want to save, you can press save, and it'll prompt you to put that into a file in your file space in your folders, and you give that a file name. But you've actually got 9 buffers here, or 10 buffers because it starts with 0. And when you do save, you're only saving the buffer that's currently selected. So do remember that. You're not saving all the buffers. And then later, when you come to do sonicpi next week, you can load in the code that you've written in the previous session or an earlier session from your folder. You can do record. So when you make some great music, you can record the sounds it's making. And then it's very easy to actually export that. There's a Windows, what's called a WAV file, which you can then load into Scratch as one of your sound effects. We've also got this area over here called the scope, which just shows a kind of waveform of the sound when it's playing. You can have it over on the left, or you can undock it and move it to the top of the screen. You can sort of customize that. So if you grab it and push it up, you can see the pink area, and you've now got the scope across the top of the screen, which is kind of sometimes useful. You can change sonicpi using the preferences to change this log area here, that we had. There's like useful information later on, perhaps when you're debugging in the future. You might be looking at that and using that. But for now, if you wanted to turn that off, you untick the show log, and you've now got no log. So you've got much more room for your coding. And one of the things that's very useful is the help facility. If you run the help facility, it's down here. Now it's not very big and you can resize it, but the way I tend to work with the help facility is if I wanted to look anything up in sonicpi, I undock it by pressing on the Windows button, and I've now got the help facility is completely separate. Now you can't click between bringing it to the front or the back by clicking on the bars on the top of the main window or the help facility, but what you can easily do is just switch it off, pressing help, and then it's back on. But now you've got much more room to see things. So if you wanted to look up, for example, how you do loops in sonicpi, you could go to loops. And most things in sonicpi are available on keyboard shortcuts. So the quick way, for example, of getting rid of the help window is Alt, A-L-T on the keyboard, usually next to the Windows flag. Alt and then I gets rid of that, and then Alt and I switches it back on. The other things I wanted to show you was in code, as if you got some code, you type it in over there. But if you do see some useful code in the help facility and you think, oh, that's handy, you can actually just highlight it with the mouse cursor, and then you can do the Windows shortcut for copying, which is Control-C. And then you can turn that off, go to your code window, put the cursor inside there, and then do the Windows keyboard shortcut, which is Control-V. And you've actually sort of like cut and paste code straight from the help facility. So that's quite useful. If you ever want to get rid of all the code in a buffer, the quick way of selecting, you can just drag from the top, is you put the cursor in and it's Alt and A. And then if I press delete now, all that code disappears. So I hope that starts you off understanding sonicpi. And if you did want to put the log back on, you can put the log on. I think most of you will probably instantly go to dark mode, which is just a bit cooler than the standard mode. It just sort of inverts the colours, so they're all different, but everything still works the same. So enjoy, experiment, and play, and find out more. Oh, sorry, Forgot to mention, once you've undocked the window, the help window, if you ever did want to redock it, as long as you've not got the prefs window open, you must turn that off. I discovered to my own peril. You must turn that off. You just drag it down to the bottom of the screen, and eventually it goes purple, and then you release it, and it's gone back. Okay.